Hey guys, I'm your writer here at the Transform Sales Podcast. We have the Agency Spotlight Series. Today's guest is the CMO of Cloudlead.co. Moaaz, I call him Mo. How are you doing, man? How's everything going?
It's going good, really good. And how about yourself? How's life?
Life is good. I got these blue and red lights cooking me real good. My standing desk, so I'm happy, and I'm on my second coffee, and it's only 9 in the morning, so I'm going to try to talk slow. But for those listening on this show, we like to do our best to spotlight and highlight some of the best agencies that list in our marketplace and really get into some of their case studies, some of their companies they serve, us, who they really are, and talk a little bit about the mistakes that buyers make when looking for an agency with the hopes that you guys can avoid those mistakes. But before we get into all that fun stuff, maybe just a quick line about yourself and how you got into the wonderful world of sales agency work.
So, as you said, yeah, my name is Moaaz Nagori, CMO at Cloudlead. And we just simply found a very obvious yet not really catered to problem about data. And a lot of salespeople engaging with data in inaccurate data. So we sought to fix that problem.
So you saw a problem with data, specifically and high level, just people spending time and money and effort on bad data, which
Yeah.
results in bad outputs. And then you just knew that you guys could do it a better way, and then you decided to build
Yeah.
Cloudlead, which kind of rolls right into my next question. Perfect timing to tell everybody about Cloudlead.co and really, what sets you guys apart from other sales agencies, especially when it comes to serving your ideal clients.
Absolutely. I mean, with Cloudlead, the only extra mile that we thought was the deal breaker, because the list building, the data industry is pretty, saturated in itself. But if you make data actionable, people will listen. And what we thought was that, yeah, we need to verify each lead and channel verify them. So understand how responsive they will be on email, social, phone. By validating each channel, we can do that. We can
Okay.
give that
So,
predictability.
so, so for anybody listening, right, it sounds like it's a combination of validating if numbers correctly, but also validating if they're going to be picking it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Which is important, right? I think a lot of people don't talk about that, right? Like it's one thing if it's someone's phone number, right? It's another thing to know that like they'll actually pick it up. So you guys are validating that their emails are correct, validating emails are correct, validating social, but also testing to see if they're going to actually respond to those channels. I think that's a lot of people don't talk about, because it's like one thing to get the data right. It's another thing to say, okay, I got the guy. I could have your cell phone number correct, and I can call you 5,000 times and never pick it up. That's still a waste of time, right? So it's not only validating the accuracy, but validating the actionability of the data.
You hit the nail. One thing I would add to it as well that we're doing for some enterprise clients is that we notice that once we have someone on the phone, there's a lot of value of that, those few seconds of attention. So sometimes we even ask an anonymously survey-based question to qualify them. Having any CRM problems? What are your quarterly goals or problems that you want to achieve? And that gives insight, that gives intent. So
and that also this is also what separates a sales agency that focuses on lead quality, lead actionability versus a sales intelligence technology like a Zoom Info or an Apollo, right? This is different in the sense that you're not just a repository of data and every man for himself, right? Companies hire you, enterprise clients, which are your best clients. I know they are, and then we're going to talk more about that, because what they find is that most of these companies probably hire you that already have an Apollo. They probably already have Zoom Info. They're still not getting good email rates, good pickup rates, good connect rates. So you're basically your enterprise clients will hire you guys to take the data that they already invested in and then have a sales agency, humans, actually verify the actionability on that channel, but also additionally add soft qualifying questions that can give somebody the right answer, right?
Yes. And it's not only applicable to enterprise, I'll just add that point, but yeah, I mean, they value this a lot because their cost per conversation is the highest as well.
Well, who would you say, right? Like, I think the natural reaction when you say that is like everyone's listening, right? So I think it's always one of those things where when I say enterprise, you immediately don't want anyone not enterprise to be like, no, we don't want to turn them away, right? That's a normal thing. And I do that on purpose, right? Because it's hard to talk about your 80-20 rule, right? It's hard to focus on the best fit clients. But on this episode, I'm gonna make you do that. And I'm gonna make you pick. Who are your best clients? Are they enterprise, small customers? Tell me who your best are, knowing, and anybody listening to this, when I ask Moaaz who his best fit clients are, it does not imply that if you're not in that best fit, that you're not going to get benefits. This is just an exercise of that 80-20 rule.
So we've seen clients like ranging from cybersecurity, logistics, information technology, SaaS companies. That's industry agnostic.
If you could only pick one.
But okay. If I only pick one, then I.
Who are your best fit? You only can pick one. No wrong answer.
Okay, I'm not going to pick.
I can tell you mine. I can tell you mine first. You want me to tell you mine? I'll tell you mine. Ours at CloudTask are, because it's funny because you're helping me with that campaign. So ours are publicly traded companies that need to beat forecasts on a quarterly basis, that are looking to literally buy over 7 figures of lead quality. Those are the best clients in our marketplace that stay the longest with the agencies we match them, have the highest satisfaction, and ultimately have the highest profit for our company. I'm not afraid to say it, right? Because anybody listening, I pull the list of all those companies, and I actually use cloudlead.io to enrich the mobile numbers. .co, I always mess that up. Cloudlead.co, and I'm going to be targeting my best fit clients with your data, with your work on that data, because I read the spreadsheet this morning and it showed me how many times they picked up, what percentages of actionable, right? So I'm a little bit I know what you're talking about. So now that I told you mine, you tell me yours.
So at least they should, the company should have at least 5 BDRs doing outbound, and they want to improve the efficacy of that. Simple as that. At least 5.
I like that. That's clear. There's no wrong answer on that, and you're smart.
It's B2B, B2B.
That was the best concrete answer you can give me that didn't exclude a big part of your TAM, right? So I know what you're doing, right? I'm on to you, man. It's good. But that's great, because at the end of the day, look, you can service a lot of people, but if you got 1,000 people that have 5 SDRs or more, you know you're going to make them happy, right? So that's the point of the show. That's the point of the marketplace, right? It's to kind of get those answers, right? Because those are the answers that sometimes you don't put on the website, right? So let's talk about one of the companies that you've helped that has 5 BDRs or SDRs or more, and almost walk me through a case study without saying the company's name, unless you can, right? I'd like to know the following things about that case study, right? Like, imagine we're just talking about this case study, and it fits. I now know that it's going to have 5 SDRs or more, right? But tell me about what problem they wanted to fix when they came to you. Tell me a little bit about how they were measuring your success, right? What geography were you cleaning the campaign for, and what results did they get, and how long did it take them to get it? Like almost like we're talking out loud about this case study. So I know it's 5 SDRs.
It's always imperative for us to understand internal structure. Okay, so we have 4 or 5 licenses. Our BDRs are doing data research. They're doing data verification. That's the problem. We find that are they data verification officers? No, they're not. So we identify that, okay, now 50%, 60% of them are doing data verification, and they're not happy with data coverage. That's one big thing.
But question though.
So
because you're talking about them, right?
Okay, I'm talking about.
I want you to talk about one case study. I'm trying to pretend I'm getting you to focus on that one.
Okay.
That one
let's
customer
take a name.
that you're like, yeah, that one
Circle
customer
Logistics.
that you guys just love.
We just signed up with Circle Logistics just recently.
Right.
We're working with the sales director there, and pre-Cloud Lead, they had a very low connection rate. Horrible coverage. So what they had was a dream account list, and they ran it through 2 databases, and they got like from the 500 or so, if my numbers are correct, I don't know, but they got about like 800 contacts, qualified ICP contacts. We got them 2,000. So because we just have more coverage. So that was the first thing. You can't sell when you don't have enough data in the first place. And the second thing was the inaccuracies. So when he told me that, yeah, I asked these qualifying questions, that what is your qualified connection rate, and then we figure out that it's horrible. It's like 3%, 5%, and that's not good. So what we did was we supplied data in tiers. We rerun a before and after analysis. I tell them, okay, look, do this. Tell half your SDRs to do what they're doing. Tell the other half, use our data and compare apples to apples. And then the data will do the talking. You'll check that qualified conversations have gone up, accuracy, email deliverability has gone up, social engagement has gone up, because now you're putting your resources where they belong.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's as simple as that. So that's what.
But this is the beautiful part about what you just said, is that building $1 billion company typically is simple. It's actually fixing one problem, right? So I think it's great because, what you said is it's a $1 trillion problem, right? Like, company is targeting a target account list. Accuracy of mobile numbers is very low. Email is low. Social activity is low because of the quality of data, right? That symptom probably affects 95% of sales organizations, right?
It does.
So they had a clear TAM. They came to you and said, hey, we have this clear TAM. We bought the Zoom infos. I'm probably right? They bought the Apollos, probably right,
Of course.
And the accuracy just wasn't there. And what that caused was low connection rates. So we couldn't really coach our SDRs to get better. Because anybody listening to this, if you have low connection rates, it's much easier to coach somebody who's having 17 conversations per day than 2, right? So it throws the whole system off. You can't coach, and you can't even get good at it, because you get good at calling by having conversations. So if you have 2 per day, if you have 2 per day versus 10 per day, all of a sudden, where you'd be from a skill perspective after 12 months, you could achieve in 90 days if you have the data, right? So these are things that people don't talk about, right? And it then affects this problem that they had, that your best ideal customer has. It then affects the fact that their account executives don't get enough demos, right? So now they're not going to hit quota, they're not going to make commission. Now they're at risk of leaving to the company. Now it affects your forecast and your quota. Now your Series A company is coming and doing clawbacks, right? So what you just mentioned is it actually has so many symptoms that it affects a company, that it's one little thing that can change your AEs from beating bonus, getting better, beating quota, raising a Series B. So it's a big deal that nobody talks about, but it's like, if you think about farming, right? Like, what's going to happen if you plant bad seeds? You can wait for 6 months for your crop to come out, but it's ultimately was doomed from the beginning, right? Because there's bad seeds. So data providers right now, they're doing a good job of getting a lot of quantity out there, but the accuracy is not good, right? And it's just the truth, right? So you're fixing that problem of accuracy, and it has all these downstream symptoms. So to finish off this verbal case study, the before was they had low connect rates, low meetings, probably low revenue. What was the after, and how long did it take them to get that?
So just because we recently signed them, I don't have the exact latest numbers. They're still running them, but 3x improvement in connect rates is very minimal for us to see. Like if anyone's getting 5% or 7%, it's easy to get 3 to 5x in connect rates. And that's a past, I mean, I can quote previous case studies where that has already happened.
I'm following you.
But
if you get 3 to 5 times connect rates, you're going to get 3 to 5 times avoidance and 3 to 5 times pipeline.
Yeah, I mean, if the succeeding stats support it. So, but yeah, but that's true. The logic is right there. You're absolutely right.
I'm also trying to highlight the fact that that's all you have to do to help save trillions of dollars of waste and build a huge company. You need to just get. It's like getting a 3 to 5x increase on your seeds, which are your data. That has a huge downstream effect, right? So for me, I know it's a big deal. I know that my time is valuable, right? So if I was doing this campaign and I had to call bad numbers, I had to call people, I'd be losing money in my time, right? So I'm also going to see if there's a 3 to 5x. I'm going to be doing things out live. I'm going to be recording this whole campaign. But that's what I want. So I want that 3 to 5x uptake. Tell me a little bit about like mistakes that buyers make. Like what is a common mistake that buyers make? Like let's just make that a buyer. I know that I have a problem with the quality of my data. I've invested in database providers. There's nothing I can do to make the quality of their data higher. I know that I need a sales agency at this point, and now I'm looking for one. Are there common mistakes that buyers on that process make that if they avoided those mistakes, they would be able to find the right agency to support them better and also have the right expectations? What have you seen in that form?
So when I'm like trying to understand and really do a bit of discovery, I it's my job to understand what their current stats are. But to my disappointment, I must say a lot of sales leaders are not keeping tabs on connect rate, qualified connect rate, which is way more important. Because when I ask them connect rate, we're getting an excellent connect rate. Like, how many gatekeepers or how many operators are you talking? That's a very good question. I'll have to see that. And I'm just like, that changes everything, my man. That changes everything because you figure out when we dig in further, 50% of them are operators, 20% of them are the right marks, but half of them are the wrong ones. They're not the real mark, you know. So those are vanity metrics. Then it's as simple as that. They're not real metrics.
I honestly, I wouldn't say that I could have guessed that. I would come along the lines because when companies hire sales agencies to produce pipeline, often the biggest mistake is that they don't even have an ROI calculator or they don't even have they don't even know the method funnel. So this is the same problem, right? It's like the biggest mistake that buyers make are, I know I got a problem with the quality of my data, right? But I actually don't know the stats. So what Moaaz is saying is that to be a better buyer, and by better buyer, I ultimately mean more, find the right agency, make the right deal, and be satisfied, right? You should come prepared with what the data quality stats are at the current moment. You should set SMART goals for what you want them to be, and then you should shop for a sales agency to fix your problem, because it will make a cloudlead.co or anyone else does, call leads. It will make your job giving you guys a quote, knowing whether or not to qualify or quality. It'll make that a lot better. And I think that's a big deal. And I don't think we have to say anything else, because anybody listening to this, we kind of know that, right? I think it's more of just like, do we have the discipline and time to do it, right? But it's a big deal. And anybody who is listening to this, check out cloudlead.co. I'm sure they got a lot of tools for you guys to download some templates so you can score your current data before and after, which would be awesome. Moaaz, this has been great. I think for anybody listening, I'm taking this a step further. I am targeting our best clients, which we're a marketplace, right? So our best clients happen to be the best clients of the agencies that are listed, right? I'm going to run this campaign, and I'm going to try to get $10 million in top line revenue in 180 days. And if I fail, I'm going to hold my head up high. But your accuracy is going to help me. Anybody who wants to learn more about just being a better buyer, what kind of upticks they can get from better data, where can they find you? How can they reach out to you? What's the best way to connect with you?
Best way is through our website, of course. You can easily just sign up there, or you can always directly email me or add me on LinkedIn. And that's always a more, I guess, personal route as well, which is fine. That's been a very common channel for us. You can always reach out to me there.
Right.
Why not?
That's awesome. Listen, I appreciate you helping me out with my campaign.
Anytime.
It's been awesome. Anybody who's interested in getting the whole list of outsourced sales agencies like cloudlead.co, feel free to go to our website and download the list for free. Information's always free where we're at. And I'll let you go getting back to verify numbers. I'm calling your data today, by the way.
Oh,
Literally. So like I'm literally going to be calling in. I'm going to be using Orem 10x parallel dialing. So I'm excited. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Transform Sales Podcast, Agency Spotlight Series with my partner and good friend.
thank you, Amir.
Moaaz
Thank you so
Nagori.
much. It's been a pleasure.
Cloudly.co. Likewise, man.
Cloudly.co it is.
We didn't freeze this time. All right, man. Take care.
We never freeze. Have a nice day.